Hi, and welcome to Alaskan in the Philippines. Today I thought I'd talk about how I'm dealing with the heat here in Asia compared to where I came from in Alaska. Right now in Alaska, the weather's pretty cold, of course. You know, they got a little bit of snow on the ground and things are frozen, the ground is frozen. And you guys in the northern states and Midwest are probably getting cold too. Leaves off the trees, and it's getting into fall for you guys too, and cold weather, frosty mornings. So that's what I was used to for many years. In Alaska, it's always cold. In the summer, it's cold. You got to wear a coat when you go anywhere. Even a boat ride on a warm summer day, you still have to bring your coat, because it never gets, where I lived anyway, it never gets much above 70, 75, and those are rare days as well. It's usually only 50s. You know, on a regular summer day, it's 50, and you need a hoodie and a thin jacket. If you're getting in a boat to go boat riding, or a four-wheeler to travel to another village, you can go another village. You have to put on coveralls and be warm, dressed warm, because that ride in the cold air will chill you back down. Even in the summertime when everything's green, you still have to put on warm clothes to go anywhere in a boat or a four-wheeler. And then in the winter, of course, you're wearing coveralls and a parka, you know, all winter long. And it's a lot of work. It's hard to keep warm. You spend a lot of time in Alaska trying to keep yourself warm. Burning wood, you burn wood, and then I have a backup oil stove. And the oil stove kicks on when the stove goes out in the middle of the night if I don't wake up and throw wood on it. I spend 6 months feeding a wood stove every day, all night. You got to chop the wood. It's out. And you had to get the wood in the summertime when there was wood, because we don't have forests to go chop trees down. We had to get driftwood that was coming down the Yukon River. We go out and lasso them with boats, and the logs come by, and we pull them over, and when the water drops, they go dry. Or I hook them from the beach. I hook them as they go by. Or we take a boat ride up, a lot of them, and build a raft and raft down and have the boat just tied to a raft of logs and push it ashore right in front of my house and let the water drop out. I'll tie the raft and let the water drop out. And then I spend a month or so cutting the wood into blocks and getting it put in piles so it'll dry. You can't just leave it in the mud. So you got to cut it and put it in piles and let it dry through the summer. So I'm doing that all summer, and then by fall, and I'm even burning wood right into June. You know, it's still cold days there in Alaska, right into June or middle of June. You still could start a fire in the wood stove to warm it up in the mornings. But the days are longer, and it's generally, we can quit using the stove at about middle of June, and then you start using it again in late August. So you're burning wood, and the stove oil too, back up when it gets cold. That'll turn on sometimes once in a while when it gets, I could keep it at 60, 64, so it ain't real, the oil stove ain't real high temperature. But anyway, after all that, and then coming to Asia here, where I was thinking I might need, I knew it was warm, and I've been to Asia before. I've been to the Philippines, so I brought 2 flannel shirts. I thought maybe they'd be a day I'd use them. I brought 1 pair of pants. I figured I'd be able to use those once in a while, and I do when I get on another plane, because the planes are actually cold. So if I'm traveling, I wear pants. But that's the only time I've ever put them on. The flannel shirts I tried to put on once just to block my skin from the sun, and I had to immediately take it off. I was going to overheat. And these were the thin flannels, the thinnest flannel you can get. So anyway, it was just too hot. I couldn't do it. And I took it off. And ever since, all I wear is these tank tops and a pair of shorts. You go out in the morning, like in Alaska, I had to put on a sweater or something because the mornings were cool. Here it ain't. It's perfect temperature. It's like being in your mother's womb. You can walk right out. I don't think you need clothes here at all. You could be naked and just be fine. But honestly, it's raining. The past couple of mornings, this is still the rainy season here, they say, but it's the high season. I notice there's getting to be more people. I'm noticing a lot more tourists and tourist buses, so it's picking up a bit. But it's still the rainy season. Throughout the whole rainy season here, it hasn't been real rainy. It would just like rain a little bit for an hour in the morning, and then it would quit, and it'd be sunny. The sun comes right out and be a hot day, dry up completely. And then the next day in the evening, it might rain for an hour, a little cloud burst come over. But yesterday morning, I woke up and we were getting torrential downpours, and it stayed downpouring until about noon. And when it does that here, it really, really rains buckets, and it floods the streets out. The streets are all concrete streets with concrete walls. Everybody's got concrete block walls along in front of their house with gates. All these streets got walls, amazingly. So the streets are walled in, and the drainage there, the grates, if they get plugged with leaves and trash and stuff, the water comes up in the streets or any of the lower streets and fills up the streets. And it's doing that. It's been doing that yesterday morning. It did that, and surprisingly, and the rains hung on till about noon, longer than usual. Heavy torrential rains and flooded the whole streets out. But then after about noon, it stopped and the sun came out and dried things out. And now it's doing it again. It got completely dry yesterday, and now the streets, this morning I woke up and it's raining again at about 4:30, 5 o'clock. And the streets, I look out, it's flooded again. It'll be slow getting dark. It's already 7 o'clock and still not quite bright out there yet. It's really downpouring right now though. But the fact of the matter is, you don't really get cold here. So if you're thinking of coming here, you're not going to need a bunch of jeans. You're not going to wear jeans while you're here. I can't find a time to wear jeans at all in the heat. So you don't even need to bring jeans, other than if you're probably going to need a pair when you're on the plane. Wear a pair of jeans on the plane when you're traveling, but you're not going to need more than one. And just your shorts, just a few pairs of thin shorts, and keep some breathable shirts. Even the regular cotton t-shirts are too hot for me. I put one on and it just soaks and sticks right to me. You need a porous jersey. The jerseys actually work the best, the basketball jerseys and stuff, because they got the little perforated holes in them and stuff. So that's one thing you want to remember. You don't want to, because you're going to soak it with sweat anyway. The cotton ones, they're just going to soak completely and just be a complete mess. These at least breathe a little bit, and it allows your skin to stay a little bit cooler, I notice. And you don't notice how, if they get sweaty, you can't really see it. Like a cotton shirt, you'll see it soak sweat, and you look like a seal all slippery, wet. But anyway, yeah. Now the heat here, it can be another thing. I've came from where I was, I've never had a suntan in my life, really, my legs. This is the first time I've actually been in an environment where I'll not see winter for a winter, I'm actually in a summertime forever. And this is kind of new to me, and it's kind of neat. And I've never been really suntanned at all my whole life. My legs have been white. And I used to get a little bit on my arms and face in Alaska, because you really can't take your clothes off because it's either too cold or too buggy. The bugs, the mosquitoes are so bad. If you did have a nice warm day, you couldn't take your shirt off anyway, because the bugs would just attack you. It's a catch-22 terrible situation. But here there's not bugs like that. You could walk around with the shirt. I guess the Thais don't like it, so I don't do it. I see a lot of phalangs, they do it, but I don't do it. They walk around shirtless. So I can do it on the beach when I go down to the beach if I want, but actually you want to protect your skin. So I've got some pajama pants. I see a lot of these Thais, they wear the elephant pants, and they wear long sleeves. I've seen them wearing flannel shirts too, and I couldn't believe it. Not a drop of sweat on them, but I couldn't do it. But they wear a lot of the elephant pants. So if you've seen them, they're Thai pants. They're real popular. The women wear them. I'd wear them too. I was wondering if they were men's, but I think I only see women wearing them, so I ain't gonna buy them. But I bought me a pair of pajama pants, and I'm gonna wear them just to block the sun from baking my skin. Because there's one thing, the heat here hasn't bothered me. I've stayed here so far, my whole stay here in Thailand, I have not turned on the aircon once, and I'm But I did climatize in the Philippines. The Philippines, there I just ran it a few hours a day. I wasn't running it. And then I stopped using it over there too. For the last month, I didn't use it at all. So I climatized myself from Alaska. Luckily, I came to the Philippines in July when I had already got through winter. It wasn't winter no more in Alaska, but it still I hadn't seen a 70-degree day all summer into July. I don't think it got to 70 this year when I was there. So when I hit Thailand, when I hit the Philippines, I was a bucket of sweat, just sitting there, just drained. I'm a very sweaty guy anyway. But after climatizing, no problem. I just stay out of the heat. You know, if I was to walk somewhere, I'd be pouring sweat. But as long as you're not actually walking or out in the middle of the afternoon, I avoid going anywhere in the middle of the afternoon because the sun is too hot for me. It would burn me. If I got stuck out there for an hour or two in the hot afternoon sun with no shade, I would be kind of burnt and I'd be crying. It would be not a good thing. So I got to really be careful, and you've got to too. You don't want to, you could dress for it if you had, like I say, a long sleeve shirt and long pants that would breathe thin, very thin. Sweats would even be too hot. You couldn't wear those. You need a kind of a silk pants, like Hugh Hefner. You got to walk around like Hugh Hefner. The Thais do it. I see them. They wear pajamas. Silk pajamas. They'll be out walking through the mall and stuff. And I'm learning too. I saw what was thin stuff, and I bought some. I'll model them someday for you guys to show you. I'd look pretty stupid, but I'm keeping cool, and I wouldn't be getting sunburned. So that's one thing, take care of your skin, because you can really get problems with sunburn. I've done it both in Hawaii. I've burnt real bad once, and I burnt in the Philippines real bad once. And both times it didn't take long. I was just in the wrong spot at the wrong time of day, and it didn't take. In Hawaii, I got burnt to a crisp in a half an hour, laying on the beach like an idiot, right from Alaska winter. White skin, and then go right to the beach for a half hour, and I burnt bad. I had bad burn for the whole week I was in Hawaii. So you got to be real careful of that. In the Philippines, I did too, in a snorkeling event, just snorkeling. My back was exposed to the sun for about an hour while I was swimming. I got out and I had pus pockets pop up all over my back, and I had to, it was a horrible feeling. It was itchy, and I needed aloe vera rubbed on it all the time, and it sucked. You don't want to do that. Be very careful. But otherwise, it's so nice. You can wake up in the morning, put on a pair of shorts, and a tank top, and just walk out and be just the perfect temperature. At night, you're at the perfect temperature. You walk out, and it's a lot of people wait till the evening to go out walking around and stuff, and that's the evening. And in the mornings, it's cool enough to go walking around. But yeah, during the middle of the day, I hide from it, as most people do. Or at the Thais, they'll wear long sleeve shirts. They wear gloves. I've seen them. Again, I saw a guy walking yesterday. I don't know if it was a guy or a girl. Had a total hood, complete hood over like an executioner's hood with flaps coming down both sides with 2 eye holes cut. Walking, I couldn't believe it. It's just amazing how these people will cover up from the sun. And my face would probably save me if I did it too. I probably wouldn't age 20 years here from the solar bacon on my face. But anyway, yeah. So far, I'm not missing Alaska's weather. You think being in a hot weather, you're gonna always think, that cool weather in Alaska. And I kind of think it once in a blue moon, but I do not miss it. I'd rather be comfortable like this, just dressed easily, dressed lightly, and be able to walk outside. It really sucked having to put on a pair of pants, pair of coveralls. I'd sometimes wear 2 pairs of coveralls and a parka over that. And I couldn't wear the face mask, so it was always freezing parts of my face. I'd get frostbite on the tip of my nose, frostbite here, frostbite here. You had to be real careful not to get frostbite. I'd drive and always have to warm up my face, driving snow machines, I always snowmobiles, you guys call them. But we had to warm our nose or it would freeze and fall off. I know a guy who lost fingers from freezing and falling them off. People freeze, so that's one good thing here. You could fall asleep here and you'd wake up in the morning. In Alaska, you wouldn't wake up. You'd fall asleep outside, you're done, man. frozen sickle in the morning. And that's just, here, that's kind of nice. One thing to think about, you can always camp out anytime. It wouldn't be so bad. It's raining right now, but that wouldn't kill you. Yeah, but so far I love the weather here in Asia. I've gotten used to it. I've gotten climatized. When I walked down this morning, I walked outside, and I was going to say, this is the first time I've ever could have put on that flannel shirt. It was a bit chilly when I went out at about 5:30 this morning to check the weather, because it's pouring. They have an underground garage down here. So the elevator goes right down to the garage, and you walk out and you can look at what's going on. I wanted to see how flooded the streets are, and they're all flooded again, of course, but they'll drain off again. But I wanted to see, and it was a bit chilly. I actually raised a few goosebumps on my arm for the first time since I've been here in July. And I don't know why it's this cold front with this heavy rain must have done it. But yeah, I could have put on a sweater for my flannel for 5 minutes. I'm actually going to give those heavy cotton t-shirts and flannels, I'm going to drop them off at one of these people I see selling used clothes. I'm just going to drop them off there because I've been packing them around in my bag for nothing. So let that be a warning to you guys. When you're coming, if you think you're going to bring a whole suitcase full of clothes, forget it. Just wear a pair of pants and a sweater on the plane, because it's going to be cold on the planes, or have a thin jacket for on the plane. But once you're here, you're not going to use it, I guarantee you. Only until you get back on the plane to go back, you'll need it again. But all that you bring you're not going to need it. Don't bring a bunch of jeans. Don't bring a bunch of heavy t-shirts. Don't bring a bunch of flannel shirts, warm sweaters. Forget them. Leave them at home. Bring 3 or 4 pairs of shorts, 3 or 4 thin tank tops, a few pairs of underwear. You don't need any socks. Bring a pair for on the plane if you're going to wear shoes on the plane. And you're just going to wear flip-flops, a pair of shorts, and a tank top the whole time you're here. Unless you're going to dress up for your wedding or something, there's nothing else to wear. And you ain't going to want to wear anything else. The weather is that beautiful, and I'm enjoying it. And I am going to enjoy a whole winter here for the first time in my life without ever having to deal with ice and freezing and snow. It's going to be great, and I'm looking forward to it. Well, thanks for all you subscribers, and thanks for watching, the likes and shares. We'll see you in the next one. Bye.